Welcome to day 5 of our 5-day Amazon Income Accelerator workshop. We've been hearing from you via email, via the chat, via the questions tab, about certain aspects of your Amazon business that have become obstacles that are trying to stop you from being successful. We're going to help you overcome the top obstacles that many of you are experiencing. And during the Q&A time, if there is an obstacle that you are having trouble with, that you want some help, you can ask about it when we get into the Q&A. As always, I want to remind you the link, fulltimefba.com/workbook, where you can download this workbook and go to the last page because this is day 5. And we're going to be filling in the blank as we go and helping you overcome some of the big roadblocks that are stopping you from finding success. And I want to make sure that, everyone understands roadblocks are going to happen no matter what you do. But roadblocks sometimes might be disguised as roadblocks, but actually there are ways you can change them into meaningless speed bumps. And so we're going to just jump into this right now. In fact, I'm going to share my screen. Rebecca will let me know if you can see my screen and the title card on the full screen. Do you see that well, Rebecca?
I see it looks good.
Excellent. Did I misspell anything? Sorry.
It doesn't look like
I
it.
keep forgetting to have her proofread it. And
Yeah, your proofreader has been left out of the loop here, but it looks good.
yes. And so I'm sorry, I just keep thinking of still trying to spell inventory right when I kept spelling it inventory, which yeah, I'm just never gonna forget that. Anyway, as a reminder, at toward the end of this call, we're gonna be giving away the FBA starter pack. So if you've been here live all 5 days, Monday through Friday, you will be entered into a drawing to win this FBA starter pack, which is a 16-inch impulse sealer, over 400 poly bags of 4 different sizes with the suffocation warning label on it, which Amazon requires when it comes to poly bags, a Dymo label printer, and a 1,000 Dymo labels. I mean, this is something you're going to use often in your Amazon business, and we're going to give it away to you for free. One lucky person who is in the U.S. will get access to this, and we will send it out in the mail sometime this weekend so it can get to you soon so you can get it, start using it in your own Amazon business. So, roadblocks in your Amazon business. Here's some things if you are wanting to make a full-time income via FBA, you need to understand that roadblocks are to be expected. Here's our first fill in the blank for the page. Roadblocks are to be expected. You can't avoid roadblocks, but they don't have to stop you from finding success. Roadblocks come. Some of them you just need to pivot a little bit. Some of them you need to pivot a lot. Sometimes you need to use a strategy that you just haven't learned yet. And so sometimes these roadblocks can really be a bummer. Other times the roadblocks can just be a little bit annoying. Most of the roadblocks that Amazon sellers experience at first sound insurmountable, but there are ways to make the roadblock something that's not actually blocking your road to success, but something that's just going to be a speed bump. You just need to slow down a little bit, deal with the speed bump, and continue on. Um, and slowing down is a good idea. If you don't want to go through the speed bump at full speed, I mean, that it damages your car. I wish someone would have told me that when I was a teenager, just zooming past those speed bumps, over those speed bumps. Not a wise decision to do. But roadblocks are to be expected, but they don't have to stop you from finding success. And that is a mindset that you need to start to think about roadblocks and understanding that that it's something that you can get over, you can get past. And we're going to talk about the three or four biggest roadblocks today and how to turn them into speed bumps, meaningless speed bumps. But I do want to let you know that when it comes to making a full-time income on Amazon, mindset is super important. And especially the two most important mindsets to have. Mindset meaning how you think, how you calculate, how you decide, and how you decide to take action. The two most important mindsets are the growth mindset and the marathon mindset. So that's your next fill in the blank, the growth mindset and the marathon mindset. The growth mindset, which I first learned from this book, Mindset, by Carol Dweck. In fact, you can get this book yourself, ultimatefba.com/mindset. But this book talks about the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. And the growth mindset is a mindset that thinks, oh, if someone else achieved this, I can achieve it too. Oh, if someone else learned how to do this, I can learn it too. Oh, here's a problem. There's a solution somewhere, and I can find it. I can grow and learn something new, become smarter, develop new skills, develop new thought patterns, and ways that I can react to a bad thing that happens to me or an obstacle that comes my way. And I have a growth mindset. I can grow through this experience. The fixed mindset, which is the opposite of the growth mindset, the fixed mindset says, okay, well, there's a roadblock. I can't get around it. I guess I'm gonna have to quit and find something else. The fixed mindset says, I can't change. This is my personality. It's just the way it is and how I'm always gonna be. And so, I mean, even though you can use your mind and think to yourself, "Oh, have did I ever not know how to walk? Oh, I learned how to walk. Yes, I fell down a bunch of times at first, but people were encouraging me and excited that I was walking, and I started walking, and then I started running, and then I started jumping, and it's like you think it's silly now as we grow up, because like when we're young, most kids have a growth mindset. I think I can do it. But then things start pounding down on them in life, depending on whatever situation they're in, and their mind starts to believe that they can't really grow. So the growth mindset is huge. And that's something that we can help you with, having that kind of growth mindset. The other kind of mindset, which is really valuable in making a full-time income on Amazon, is the marathon mindset. Um, Anyone who runs a marathon probably did not wake up one morning and decide, I'm going to run a marathon today. That's not what usually happens. And if that does happen, and someone just wakes up one day and they're not ready for a marathon and decides, I'm going to run a marathon, yeah, they're going to find failure. They're going to find it hard, almost impossible. And so, Amazon, selling on Amazon, it's a marathon mindset. We live in a world that is mostly focused around the sprint mindset. I want to go super hard at first and work really hard and get to where I want to get to and and just that's how I'm going to do it. But you don't get very far with just a sprint. If you were to run as hard as you can, yes, you're going to get to point A faster, but if the goal is point Z, you need to have a marathon mindset. I've never run a marathon. The closest I've done is I have run a 10K. Let me rephrase that. I've signed up and mostly walked a 10K. I've done a 5K. I did one 10K. But even with mostly walking a 10K, I think it's probably about 50-50. I can't remember exactly the breakdown of what I ran versus what I walked, but I still trained. I walked a ton. I ran a ton, trying to build up my endurance. I ate better. I worked out more. I, didn't just wake up one day and decide to run a 10K. No, I built up to it. And the same thing with your Amazon business. There's a right way to start and a wrong way to start. There's a right way to continue finding success over time. There's a wrong way to do it. And we want to show you how to do that, to have that marathon mindset that I don't know if you have heard of this before, but there's this thing called a runner's high that they've been able to like break through a wall, not a literal wall, but like a wall of their mind that their mind has put together that you really need to quit. You should probably stop. When you break through that wall, and all of a sudden you get this runner's high where I mean, almost feel invincible just having this extra bit of energy pushing you through, that's the kind of strength and endurance and mindset, that marathon mindset that you need to make a full-time income selling on Amazon. Because you're not going to do it with a sprint, you need to do it with a marathon. If any of you are well trained in the kitchen, we're not talking about a microwave mindset. We're talking about a crock pot mindset where it takes a long time to do amazing things. So, this is something that is very important when it comes to your Amazon business. And so, if you're really wanting to um, turn a roadblock into something else, just understand roadblocks can become speed bumps. Roadblocks can become speed bumps. It is totally possible for a roadblock that's stopping you from getting to where you want to go to turn into a speed bump. Like I said before, yeah, you're going to need to slow down a little bit and go over the speed bump, deal with it, but then you can move on, put the pedal to the metal again, and get going to your destination. So, roadblocks can turn into meaningless speed bumps, and I want to walk through that with you today. In fact, if you want to, in the chat or in the questions area, let us know a roadblock that you're dealing with, something that is stopping you from finding success. And if we don't cover it in this teaching time, then maybe we can during the Q&A time. So, the number one roadblock that I've seen people experience, in fact, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because um, there's no like thing to fill out. Like you can fill it out on your paper. You see the roadblock and the speed bump. I'm going to talk a lot. You're going to see, and I'm going to walk you through it, and you can write down the important aspects. The number one roadblock most people are experience are dealing with product restrictions, brand restrictions. It's super frustrating when you're outsourcing. You find an inventory item, a potential inventory item. You can make money on it. The sales rank is good, but Amazon says, sorry, you can't sell this. You're not approved. And most people see that as a roadblock. And they're like, well, I'm not approved. Got to put it back on the shelf or not buy it if you're sourcing online. Well, that's just not the end of the story, though. So here is how you handle roadblocks and turn them into speed bumps. The first step is to apply. Just because Amazon says you're not approved does not mean you won't get approved if you apply. Every brand on Amazon has a different set of parameters, a different set of metrics that they want all of their Amazon sellers to have. Maybe it's we want to have Amazon sellers that have at least 5 positive feedbacks. Maybe it's we want Amazon sellers who have at least 3 months of experience. Maybe it's we want to make Amazon sellers that have a good customer satisfaction rating. And so there's no way for us to know brand by brand what those metrics are. So it should just be our goal to improve our metrics over time. So always apply because sometimes the metric is just we just want people to ask to be approved and we're going to let them in. And so always apply, and whether or not it's just applying or if it's how long you've been selling on Amazon or your seller metrics, many items will become automatically approved. It's called auto approval, is what Amazon sellers used, the phrase that they used to call it. You can get auto approved for certain brands just by applying. So, number one, always apply. Secondly, if you don't get automatically approved, Amazon tells you exactly what you need to do to get approved if your seller metrics or selling on Amazon length has not been long enough. So, so sometimes it'll say you need to send us an invoice, not a retail receipt, not an online arbitrage type of receipt, but an invoice, which means you're purchasing directly from the brand an invoice with at least 10 items um, purchased, or maybe an invoice with at least 20 items. Or sometimes they'll ask you for a letter from the brand giving you permission to sell their items. There are multiple different reasons. Some of them will be like, well, you just watch this training video, answer a few questions that show us you understand, and then you can get approval if you pass the test at the end of this little video. Every brand is going to be different. And So the Amazon will tell you what the brand wants, and then you know what to shoot for. Okay, I need to find a wholesale re invoice, or I need to take this quiz and pay attention so I'm actually learning it. Um, and we've talked about this before. Retail receipts like might work 0.01% of the time. Online arbitrage receipts might work like maybe 1% of the time. And usually the time when a retail receipt or an online receipt actually does work is when someone who is deciding who, like maybe the seller central rep that's actually making the decision based off of the paperwork, they're just trigger happy and they're like, yes, 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 yes. That happens. It's really rare, but it happens. And so um, when it comes to getting approved, then that's what you need to do to get approved next. Either get that invoice or get a letter from the wholesale brand. I mean, if you need help with wholesale, that's something that we're going to come back in June and walk through with a free workshop on what you can do to get more wholesale brands. So if you want to sign up for that, fulltimefba.com/wholesale workshop, that'll be in June. But right now, I'm helping you overcome the understanding that almost all of the brands on Amazon have a certain time period that they want Amazon sellers to have experience selling on Amazon, and once you pass that, you will get approved. Now, approval doesn't come automatically. You still have to apply, which is why I go, which is why I the next step, the first is to apply. Second is to make sure you have good seller metrics. And the third thing is to reapply. I have a reminder on my phone every 2 to 3 months. I go back in and reapply to every single brand that I have been denied in the past. If I've been denied automatic approval, I reapply. If I and sometimes guess what? Maybe I had maybe you have only been selling on Amazon for 2 months, but after the third month, you've been selling on Amazon long enough for whatever brand, and they'll approve you. But they won't approve you if you don't apply. So reapply. Um, so that's why every single time you find a brand on Amazon or a ASIN on Amazon that you are not approved to sell, always apply right then and there. You can do it on right there on your phone. You can do it on your computer. Always apply, and hopefully you'll get automatically approved. But if not, there is a place in Seller Central that saves your approval applications in a draft form. So you can just go back to that page in Seller Central and go through, and you can sort all the ones that you have not been approved and just go click, 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 and reapply to all of them. And the more you do that and the longer you sell on Amazon, the more items will become available to you. A lot of people get frustrated that they can't sell something that they found that's profitable, and I get it. That stings. But there are millions of inventory items out there that you are approved for as an Amazon seller. And so keep looking, keep pushing, keep going after those. Always apply, always run your Amazon business as best as you can to improve your metrics, and always reapply. And so that's how you can turn this roadblock into a speed bump. Maybe it's a roadblock right now because you're not getting approved, but after a few months, in fact, the 6 month time period is like the magic, it's almost like a magic door opens up. I feel like I have no proof of this, but I feel like the default metric that Amazon gives a brand when it comes to how long a seller should be selling on Amazon is 6 months. Well, they can change it to 3 months. They can change it to 9 months. They can change it to 2 years. They can change it to whatever they want. And again, there's no way for us to know what they choose. But I feel like the default is 6 months because there are so many, almost the majority of items on Amazon that you're going to be gated in right now will be opened if you have 6 months of of a active seller, Amazon seller account. Now, if you sold for 2 months and then you took some time off and you haven't been selling for a few months, then that's not an active selling account. But if you have an active selling account for 6 months, wow, things start to really open up for you. And so that is something for you to know. Number one roadblock to turn into a speed bump is restrictions. And again, always apply, work to improve your metrics, and then always reapply over and over and over again. Again, I set an alarm on my phone every 2 to 3 months to reapply to anything that I've not been approved to sell in the past. So that's roadblock number one. Roadblock number two. Roadblock number two is time. I just don't have time. I don't have time. I want to sell on Amazon, but I don't have time. And I get it. We all live busy lives. But the thing is, we all get the same number of hours a day. Yes, some of us are in situations where, like, okay, yeah, but my friend over here is single. I am married with kids. I have less time than them. And so I totally get that. I started my Amazon business as a single dad with 4 kids, and trying to do this myself, and was able to make a full-time income in less than a year selling on Amazon. And so I know it's possible. What makes it possible are your priorities. If selling on Amazon and working for yourself, building up a business where you are the boss, where you are able to um, define your own schedule, where you're able to pay off debt, where you're able to save for travels, when you're able to save for retirement, if that is really important to you, then you're going to make the time. You're going to find the time. There will be things that you decide to sacrifice so that you can find time to work on your Amazon business. Now, I'm not saying sacrifice time with your kids. No, they're only young ones. My youngest is 17, my oldest is 24. I miss the days when they were all home. And and I'm thankful that I did not sacrifice my time with them to make my Amazon business work. What I'm saying is sacrifice the things in your life that are not that important. Like again, as you can see behind me, there's baseball stuff all around me. I love baseball, but baseball, um, you know, it's about a 3 hour game. I mean, it's improved. It's now about 2.5 hours, but many years ago, it was 3 to 3.5 hours a game. And I've got two favorite teams. I root for the Houston Astros because I grew up in Houston. I root for the Texas Rangers because I now live in North Texas. And so, I got two favorite teams. I actually used to watch both teams play. One of them I'd watch live, and then the other one I'd watch on the DVR. That's just 6 hours. Like that's a lot of time. And so I decided to sacrifice that time. I would I would record the games. I would pick one game to watch. I'd fast forward through. In fact, my wife is gonna probably laugh at me because she remembers that I used to do this. I used to have the fast forward 15-second button on my remote. Like I probably pushed that like 400 times a game, where it's like, here's the pitch, boom, okay, jump forward 15 second. All right, and the next pitch. Oh, and then so I turned a 3 hour game into about 45 minutes sometimes, maybe an hour. Anyway, sacrifice the time that is not productive. I'm not saying you're gonna have to do this forever, because we can teach you how to grow your Amazon business, how to get that snowball going, and then how to start outsourcing aspects of your Amazon business. Because there are ways where you can get a lot of your time back. But at the beginning, you need to focus on doing it yourself to make sure that when you do outsource, that they're doing it right. And and the way you make sure they're doing it right is if you know how to do it right. And so time, I totally get it. We all get the same number of time in our lives, in our days. And if something is important to you, then you will do it. If a doctor told you you need to lose 50 pounds and you need to do it in 6 months or you're going to die, if life is important to you, you will make the right kind of changes to your diet, to your exercise, and you will do what you can to lose that weight within that amount of time because it's a priority to you. Well, we don't need you to lose weight. We want to actually make your bank account fatter. So if you want a fatter bank account, then we can help you with that. And so time, it all comes down to priorities. Is this really important to you? And then the third um, roadblock that we want to turn into a speed bump. It's a roadblock that many Amazon sellers have at the beginning and they don't even know it. I mean, they might know it a little bit, but they don't even know it's a roadblock. And that is the roadblock of fear. I I I I I don't know if you've ever heard this before. I don't know everything there is to know, so I'm not going to start until I know everything. That's fear. You're procrastinating. You're never going to know everything. I don't know everything. I'm always still learning something. There will always be something to learn. And so if you're saying I'm not going to start my Amazon business because I don't know enough yet, well, guess what? I can show you the most important things you need to know to begin with, the most important steps to add to your Amazon business as you grow. And so there's you're going to know everything. If you sign up for our coaching program, you will know those things. Also, what's the best teacher? Experience. You're going to learn more by actually doing it. So if you're scared that you don't know enough, we'll help you with that. If you're scared about making mistakes, guess what? You're going to make mistakes. It's just normal. Just like with learning how to walk. Yeah, you take two steps and you fall down. The same thing is going to be with your Amazon business. You're going to do stuff, you're going to take risks, you're going to make mistakes, you're going to learn from them, and then you're going to remember not to make that mistake next time. It's going to be a much better teacher. Like I want to teach you everything, but the mistakes you make are going to be the better teachers for you. And so combining that with the things that I teach you so you can avoid these mistakes and then understanding the mistakes that you make yourself will help you understand that you can do this. So you might be scared that you don't know enough. You might be scared that you're going to make a mistake. Also, you're not going to make unless you like go out and buy counterfeit inventory to sell on Amazon, you're not going to make a mistake that's going to suspend your Amazon account for life. All right? If your Amazon account ever does get suspended, there's a way to get it back. And I don't even think that if you follow what we teach you, what we coach you, you're not going to worry about that because we're not going to teach you anything that's anywhere close to breaking Amazon's guidelines. And so you don't want to make mistakes. I get that. We can help you with that. But you are going to make mistakes. They're just not going to be very big. And the third thing, you're like, you have that fear. There's the fear that's disguised as I don't know enough yet. There's the fear of I don't want to make mistakes. And there's the fear of I don't want to lose money. Um, this one is very similar to I don't want to make mistakes. Um, do I make money on every single item that I send to Amazon? No, but I make money on almost all of them, most of them. But when I was a beginner, yes, there were times where I lost money. But my losing my money isn't like I paid 20 bucks for this and I lost 40. No. I mean, there's a way you can do that, but that would be gross negligence of your Amazon business. But if like you spent $20 on an inventory item, you might lose a buck or two on that item, but you also get the lesson that why that happened so that you can learn from that and that's something we can help you. If you're like, this happened and it was a mistake and I don't even know why, we can help diagnose that and try to figure out what happened so that next time you know not to do that. Um, and so these kinds of things can be roadblocks, but we're going to turn them into speed bumps. Um, the restrictions, some of them, you're just a click away from being approved. Others, you might be just a few months away from being approved. Most items you're going to eventually be able to get to sell. I not having enough time. If this is a priority to you, then you're going to make the time. And the things that you sacrifice to make the time are temporary sacrifices. I mean, yes, I'm missing a baseball game right now, but I'm gonna go watch it after we're done. And so you know, the things that you sacrifice time wise, again, don't sacrifice time with family or your kids or loved ones or friends, but just sacrifice the things that you do that are mostly a waste of time or maybe a distraction or maybe an escape, but things that will help you in your Amazon business, that's what you need to be focusing on. And then the fears. We all have different fears, and we can help you with those. I know I've shared with you my thoughts on those fears of not knowing enough, fears of mistakes, and the fear of losing money. Those things will be very temporary and something that experience of selling on Amazon through our coaching will help you overcome. So, I want to make sure I want to bring two people on and interview them real quick, and then we're going to give away the freebie, and then we're going to get into Q&A. Um, so I'm bringing on two different guys from that are current coaching clients. So Mark, I'm going to start with you. I'm going to kick you off and promote you to a panelist so you can actually come on screen and talk to these beautiful people. So I'm going to do that right now. And we're going to talk with Mark. Mark has been a coaching client for over a year, and is really it's been awesome following his journey, selling on Amazon and getting things going. Mark, how are you doing this evening?
Hey, how are you? I'm good. Feeling
I'm doing good. It's good to see your face.
yeah, same here, same here.
Yeah. So tell everybody who's listening, like, what first drew you to the full-time FBA coaching program? What was going on and what really stood out? Then you're like, man, this is what I need.
I think when I started off, a friend of mine was doing fulfilled by merchant, and he was making money, and he was doing a lot of running around and things like that. But I went a different route, so I started off doing a lot of research, and then I came across your course and another course as well. But and I just liked the way it was laid out and the courses and the videos and things of that nature. So I just went with FBA, full-time FBA, and I've been with you guys ever since. I mean, a couple breaks here and there over the years, but um, now I'm a coaching student. So yeah, that's what happened. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So what is your impression of like if people are like what's a coaching call like? What how would you break down what a coaching call is like so people can know if they want to join us in our next coaching session, what to expect?
It's extremely informative. It's more like a family now because after a while we all have gotten to know each other. So it's real supportive, and you actually hear that a lot of people have the same fears and roadblocks. So everybody on the call is pretty much at a different journey, a different point in their journey. So it's actually helped me realize, and we've been doing it for a while now. So everybody kind of really supports each other, and you get a lot of good advice. You get a chance to ask a lot of questions, and if you do run across something in your Amazon business, you can ask, and you guys email or send out links or follow up the next day. So it's extremely informative and helpful, and it really gets you going. And then, at the end of each call, we have goals for the next call. So it gives you incentive to get some stuff done. So um, I highly recommend it. And it's got me out off the bench, you know, I think
Oh yeah.
it's worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. So if someone's listening and they're like on the fence whether or not they should sign up for coaching or not, what would you recommend for them if they're like, I don't know, maybe I'll do it later? Um, what would you tell them?
I would say you invest in yourself. I mean, because you could blow a lot of money in this Amazon business if you don't know how to pick the right items, if you don't know how to look for trends, and you could really blow a lot of money and get discouraged that way. At least here, if I pick something that's not necessarily selling, you could price fix it, or you can, like you said earlier, learn what to do so that you don't make the same mistake again. So I think it's worth the investment in your business because, if you don't spend the money, you're never going to make any money. So, it's a good move. I mean, I did it, and so I'm still here.
Well, I am super glad, and I appreciate you coming on the call,
Mm.
and sharing your experience and stuff. I'm gonna kick you off the call, and then you'll come back as an attendee. So, but I
Okay.
appreciate you taking the time.
Okay. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. All right, so that's Mark, and he had to. I know he had to take a break for a while for some work situations, but he's been one of our coaching clients for a while, helping him grow his Amazon business, helping him find inventory to sell, the strategies that work for us. We showed him, and it's been really good watching him grow over his time with us. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna uh, bring in our next coaching student. Mark's been following us for a little while, or for multiple months. The next person I'm going to interview, his name is Guy, and he's been following us for a couple months, and so I'm going to promote him to a panelist. So again, it's going to kick him off the call. I always wonder why Zoom does this, but I get it. Kicking him off as a attendee, coming back as a panelist, and so. He's coming back, and I see Guy is here now. So, man, Guy, I'm super glad that you were able to take just a few minutes to come on. If you can unmute yourself and turn your camera on, and we can talk today.
Sorry about that.
No problem. I mean, hey, I know when Amazon kicks people off, it takes it a minute to kind of get back. But thanks for taking the time. Uh, Tell me a little bit about why you decided, all right, I need this full-time FBA coaching program. I'm going to sign up. What stood out to you that made you decide to make that decision?
Okay, I spent some time today thinking about that. So I wrote down some notes. If it's okay, I can
Sure.
read off of those because I'll go off into the weeds. Just want to say, hey, Mark, how you doing? I want to go off. I didn't want to go off into the weeds, and I do have my opinion, which I think hopefully this will cover.
Yeah.
So you ready?
Oh, yes. Bring it.
All right. So it's a brief history leading up to deciding to approach Amazon as a business rather than hobby. I had a lot of experience doing eBay as a hobby. And it was difficult to make an income selling there. I had to run each time there was an item sold, and it was stressful. So by 2015, I decided I didn't want to work for anyone and wanted my own business. Um, so I had a Shopify store and tried drop shipping, but it took forever to figure out how to make it work, and I gave up. Uh, I didn't have coaching. I went for coaching. The coaching was terrible. It's just typical with a lot of the coaching. It's like any product, it's like there's a Toyota of coaching, and I found it. Anyway, I have a passion for some hobbies that I started a blog about, and it too frustrated me since that I gave up and did as doing a side hustle currently of repairing small engines and setting up smart devices in people's homes. So that's how currently, and I don't want to do that either, although I enjoy it. So it gets me past there. Um, I want to move from my current location and further down south. So I really need something that I'll be able to generate a full-time income from my laptop. It's very important to me. I've been wanting to do that for like 15 years. Yeah, that's big. That's very big for me. That's probably okay. So, I want to be geographically independent. I think, I'm kind of that type of person. Um, I've looked at Amazon for 2 years now, and it makes sense for me that it fits, that this whole thing fits. Amazon is it really, but you have to look into it because, it is not for everyone, and it is a get rich slow scheme. And not too many people are looking for that, except somebody who really wants, yeah, who really wants it for themselves. So I've been watching videos and listening to podcasts for 2 years obsessively because I've decided to do this. Listening to mixed information off everyone's opinion, how to sell on Amazon always had me unsure of how to start. So I kept watching videos and listening. I knew this was what I wanted. I knew this was what I wanted to do and kept hoping someone would have something to offer besides a monetized YouTube channel or a podcast. And that's always what you run into. And it's not, it doesn't help you, it helps them. And I learned this after it's been since 2015. So I'm not, it's not just a guess. I was out visiting a friend in March of 2023 and I needed a new podcast. And that's how I got here. It just I started from all my online selling experience to lesson from the gurus. I started to listen to Steve and Rebecca's podcast, and it fit me better than OJ's glove. Once I listened to all of their podcasts up to 1224, I knew by the way Steve and Rebecca presented themselves that they could role model me into what I was really looking to do. And it took a long time, and I'm not an easy one to convince, as you figured out so through time. And you kidding. I like to stay on the fence. It's comfortable for me. Uh, I first thought about buying one of your courses, and I quickly realized I needed your coaching. And it didn't take me long at all because the insights that you get, okay, uh, at first the reasonable but intimidating price made me just get one course. And after seeing how Stephen presented his course, made me instantly get coaching. Um, I purchased a course in January 2025, so I just started something I most likely wouldn't have. I absolutely wouldn't have. I wouldn't have stuck with it. The bi-monthly workshops are packed with the kind of stuff that could take months of trial and error and possibly frustrate me to a halt.
Mhm.
The other coaching members during the workshop are pleasant, offer their own experiences, which are also priceless pieces of information, and they are. Just the people in the workshop, because we're all in the same thing. And there is no feeling that, sharing your experiences is going to take some business away from you. I remember you saying that one time on one of your podcasts, and it's true. It's not. It doesn't. You don't feel that at all because it's so difficult that the few people that will grasp onto it and do it are not competition at all. So it's something that it's really the opportunity. The courses alone that come with the coaching, in my opinion, at this point, after doing all the math now, are worth the price of the coaching alone. They're packed with great insights and information that's thorough, easy to understand, and presented well by people who have done it and done it well. And don't ever flaunt it by giving unrealistic expectations. Um, I th I had more to say, and that was that I think what really drew me into this is seeing the humble beginnings that you came for and how you overcame them and how you went through all the trial and error. And that's something someone doesn't want to part with for any kind of money. That you really, and I can see that because I couldn't do this myself without this. And this is not a, this is my serious opinion. I thought about it and I say to myself, where I am now, I've had so many boxes of things that I was going to start and they're all sitting in a closet with nothing. This is the first time I've ever gotten this far and I plan on going farther with it because after looking at the courses, there's no way you can fail unless you want to. So, you know, all I can say is what I said, it's the best I can do. To give my honest opinion, and it's no smoke either. I look forward to the workshops. I look forward to seeing everybody. Uh, I don't, I hate to say because I'm a do-it-yourselfer, and I think we went over that at one point too. I'm a do-it-yourselfer, and I've been with everything, but I did myself for years, nothing. So, so either way, as far as the course is concerned, I think it was a bargain, to say the least. I've seen the gurus and their courses they have to offer. They're just monetized content. That's all they are. It's terrible, and they scare you into believing things so they can sell you more stuff. And it's really a game. Uh, it took an awful lot of time to come here, and I'm fortunate. I hope everybody stays. I hope all you guys, continue giving the information you have been because it's invaluable to me.
Yeah. Thank you
That
so
is
much.
my review.
Yeah, well, I really appreciate that, and I appreciate you coming on,
Well,
and
sure.
talking to the people here and giving your experience and some tips and stuff along the way. Guy, I really appreciate the time. Now's the the awkward part where I kick you off and you come back as
It's
an
okay.
attendee.
I'll keep watching. I'll keep watching. See you
All
later.
right, we'll see you in the next call.
Okay.
All right. So that was Guy, and man, he is awesome and full of positivity and help. And I love the fact that he phrased it. I had so many boxes of things that I wanted to do that I just left in the closet, and I ended up with a pile of stuff that I wanted to start, but never actually got started on. And it was really cool that he's like, I understood now was the time. Now was the time. And I believe now is the time for you as well. While you're listening to this, fulltimefba.com/coaching. Understand. I'm gonna share my screen real quickly. Because my actually my I'm not gonna share my screen. Um, I need to fix something first because the what's it called? I want to put up the speed bump, not speed bumps, the coupon codes. So I want to remind you with our coaching call, our coaching is including content like Guy was just talking about. You get digital courses you get access to. There's the Jumpstart Amazon course, Resellers Guide to Online Arbitrage, our Replens course, our Keep It course, our pricing course. Um, and if you sign up for 12 months, you get access to all 5 of those courses. You get a customized experience based on your specific situation, a continuous strategy. You get CEO talks where we talk about the mindset that you need to have as a CEO, not an employee of your business. You're not an employee of Amazon. You are the CEO of your Amazon business. And the community that comes with the coaching calls, it is just invaluable. So I'm going to share my screen, and you can see for yourself coupon codes for enrollment to save hundreds expire midnight tonight. If you're watching this on the replay, these might already be expired. If it's past 11:59 p.m. Central Time on March 28th, these coupon codes are expiring. And so I want to make sure that you are aware of these codes to save some good chunk of money on our coaching. We've got group coaching, we've got individual one-on-one coaching. We have 6 months coaching package and a 12-month coaching package. Find out what works best for you. I feel like 12 months is one of the best bargains because 12 months is about the time it takes to get you from where you are to knocking on the door of making a full-time income selling on Amazon. And so being able to walk through this with you for 12 months is the best option for you. And so you can save 15% off with the coupon code 15 off MAR25 for the pay in full option. If you need to do the payment plan, you can save 10% off, 10 off MAR25. Um, and so I want to make sure that you take advantage of these coupon codes. We've got a special launch bonus that expires Monday, April 2nd, a 30-minute one-on-one strategy call with me. You also, if you pay in full, you get this. We're going to give this away, but you get this starter pack. And it's funny. One of the people who won this last time we had a workshop won the starter pack, but then also paid for their coaching in full. So we added more items to this starter kit. So you can get even more stuff for free. And if you sign up for a 12-month pay in full, you'll get a 30-minute, 3 additional 30 minutes. So every quarter you'll have a one-on-one strategy call with me. Sign up for it, fulltimefba.com/coaching. So the coupon codes again that expire at uh, midnight Central tonight. These coupon codes are going away. So I want you to take action and get going on that. But now is the fun time where we're going to give away that starter kit. So Rebecca's going to come back on, and then we'll jump into some Q&A. And so Rebecca, you're looking good tonight.
Thank you.
Mm.
So usually what I do is I take all of the people's names who have been here the first 4 days and I check it against the people who are here tonight. And then I get my sister to pick a name, or not pick a name, pick a number, have them all numbered. But Peter's been texting me. So
Really?
he's not here this weekend, but he's been texting me. So I was like, hey, Peter, while I got you here, pick a number between, told him to
Right.
pick a number.
Yes.
And he picked number 1. So number 1 is Anthony.
Anthony.
Yes. Anthony
Awesome.
is top of the list with an A starting at the beginning of the alphabet. And so he picked number one. So, Anthony, you are the winner of the FBA starter pack.
Awesome. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Anthony. You're
Oh,
here.
and it's Anthony's birthday too. I just realized that.
Oh,
Happy birthday, Anthony. You get the
it's a
starter pack.
prize. It's a prize and a birthday gift.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't even think about that till just now.
Yeah, I just realized that too.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so there we go. Anthony, I'm gonna have you I'll put the link in the chat, but I'm gonna have you send a message to fulltimefba.com/contact and let us know the mailing address where you want us to send that. But I'll put
Yeah.
that link in the chat as well.
Yeah.
All right. And then was there anything else you were gonna do, or are we ready for questions after
Let's
that?
get the Q&A on the road, baby.
Okay. So, what advice do you have for those who are doing RA sourcing this weekend? We had a few people who said that when you asked at the beginning, what are you doing this weekend? That they were going to Walmart or various places to do some RA or some other stores to do some shopping. So, what would you say to get started?
So what I would say, what I usually like to do when it comes to retail arbitrage is that I like going to a place that has multiple stores in the same like you go to one parking lot and there's multiple stores. And so it's like, all right, I I'm at a parking lot and it's got a Kohl's. So I'm gonna go into that Kohl's. I'm gonna scan some stuff and see how Kohl's is. And like, oh, there's a Walgreens by here too. So I'm gonna go to Walgreens and I'm gonna scan some things. The thing is, if you like walk into Kohl's or walk whichever store you go to first, if you walk into that store and you're like, oh my gosh, I am filling up a cart, then if you live in a place that has close access to more, like if I went to a Walgreens and I filled up a cart at Walgreens, then I'd be like, all right, even though there's a Kohl's next door, I'm gonna pivot and go to other Walgreens in my area. And so that's the strategy that I like to do. Usually I'm just gonna go to a place and walk around the parking lot and see every store and see what works out. But if I find a store that is just better than usual, really good stuff, I'll be like, well, if this Walgreens or this store is doing so well, I want to go see if other stores of the same name nearby are also as good. So that would be
Yeah.
my main retail arbitrage strategy to kind of get some momentum going.
Yeah, and the rationale behind going to other stores of that same name would be that maybe you could get multiples of the same item that you
Yes.
could, and you can shop quicker that way. You know what you're looking for, you know which aisle had all the stuff that you found that was so great. You go right to that aisle, you start picking, you just pick up where you left off at the last place, and it just speeds up the process and you can get a lot of stuff that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But if you are just doing like mediocre and it's not like a whole cart full, then doing it that way where you've got a parking lot, a shopping center where you can go to as many stores to do RA as possible in one small area, that's a really great way to start off too.
Yes.
All right, we have a question about negative feedback. I have a 1-star review that I can't shake. The person said he would take it down, but he hasn't. He's also not said anything technically incorrect, so I can't say he lied, or can I?
I mean, this is what I do every time I get a negative feedback. I always see if Amazon will automatically remove it. Like there's a button when you look at your feedback profile, um, there is a button to request to remove it. And sometimes Amazon, because they have it set up with AI and algorithm, will remove it. But I only do that for feedbacks of 1, 2, and 3. If you ever get a feedback of like a 4, that's still considered positive, even though it's not a 5-star. So don't remove any um, 4s, even though it's not a 5. But if you get a
And
1,
3 is
2,
neutral, but neutral's still bad.
yes, neutral is still negative, even though it's called
Neutral,
neutral. It's
yeah,
it has a negative impact. on your metrics or whatever. So I always, before I even try to reach out to a customer, um, you try to see if Amazon will automatically approve it. If that doesn't work, I do try to reach out to the customer and ask them to remove it. I like that they told you that they will, since they replied to you and said that they will. I would bring it up again and would say, I thank you that you said you would remove this feedback. Um, I am a small seller and my feedback score is very important to me. And so I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Um, and so, I mean, you're just asking again. They said they would do it, but they haven't. You're just reminding them. You know how life gets. We all get busy. So I'm sure they meant to. They're not just lying to you saying, "Oh, I'll remove it." I'm not going to remove it. Um, that's probably not going on.
Probably
So
not what happened.
right. Yeah. So that would be what I would suggest.
Yeah. All right, this is the last call for questions here in the chat. We're going to be wrapping up here soon, but Stephen, is there something you wanted to announce about tomorrow?
Yes, we've had a lot of fun with y'all these 5 days in the 5 day Amazon Income Accelerator workshop. So we're going to squeeze out, that's not the right word. We are going to expand the opposite of squeeze. We are going to expand our workshop to include one more bonus day. We're going to have a bonus day tomorrow night, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central, and it's going to be a co-working session. We are going to help you plan out your first or your next sourcing session, and we're going to make sure that you have that set up. So we're going to work together. So it's going to be kind of like a little taste of what some of our coaching calls are like. Um, and you get to experience that for yourself tomorrow night. So as always, when this session is over, I'll upload the replay for you, and I'll also send you an email about the links for tomorrow night's session. And if you're like, Steven, I already got plans tomorrow night. What do I do? Don't worry, we will record it. You'll have replay access to all 5 of our previous sessions and tomorrow's bonus session. You'll have access to that until Tuesday night at midnight Central to catch up, because I know there's some of you who've missed some sessions. You want to watch them over the weekend or next week, Monday or Tuesday, or maybe you're like, I want to do this, but I need to kind of convince my spouse. Maybe my spouse can watch a few of the replays so that they can see that, we're not just trying to manipulate people or trick them or convince them or scare them to death that they need our coaching. No, we want to help people. We've been in your situation, wanting to sell on Amazon, wanting to find success. We've been able to find it, and we've learned over 10 plus years of selling on Amazon and coaching people how to do that. And we want to help you too. So fulltimefba.com/coaching, sign up for it. And if there is a part of your brain that is thinking, I'm not ready now, that's just fear trying to convince you not to take the leap. In fact, I think 2 people that we've interviewed on this workshop said, take the leap. You might not know uh, where it's going to take you, but if you know someone else has leaped there before, you can see what they've experienced and you can find that same type of experience for yourself. And we want to help you. So take the leap, join our coaching program, and finally start seeing your Amazon business take off and realistically start making a full-time income eventually selling on Amazon, thanks to how we've been able to set up and help you along the way.
Yeah, I was thinking of what Cielo was sharing the other night. If you were able to catch, hers was on Wednesday, so that would be day 3. If you're watching the replays, she's just grown so much in confidence, and I think she's definitely one who was hesitant at first to take that leap, but now has just made so much progress and has confidence in herself and confidence in her ability to make those buying decisions and to just take charge of her business in a way that really wasn't there when she first got started. And so just go back and listen to what she had to say. If you want to be inspired, go back and listen to what Christy had to say in the session for day 4 and also what Michael shared about the progress he's made in just 2 months. That was awesome to hear. And so, yeah, just if you're here and you're listening and you have been, trying to decide if this is for you or not, you're here for a reason. You're here
Yes.
for a reason and you're ready to get to work. And we want to help you do that. That's the whole reason we do any of this, is because we've been there ourselves. We've seen what it's like to try to do this without accountability or without other help from other people who've been where we've been. And so we want to make it so that you don't have to go through that alone.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's no other questions, correct?
There's no other questions. I just saw the other question was
Yeah.
about.
Someone asked me who I have picked in my March Madness bracket, and since I'm from Houston, I picked Houston to win in my March Madness bracket. But
I was
I
like,
want
what
to
are
help
you doing
you.
over here?
What's
Sorry.
that?
I was looking at the chat and like, what are you doing over here?
Oh, yeah. I want to help you avoid March Madness, April Madness, June Madness, July Madness. So we can help you avoid the madness in your own Amazon business and experience a championship experience with selling on Amazon. So thank you so much for joining us all week long. Five
Yes.
days. Tomorrow, bonus day of our 6-day Amazon Income Accelerator workshop.
Thank
So
you so much, Jonathan and Evelyn. Thank you, Matthew, for being here. Thank you again to Guy and to Mark. We really
yes.
appreciate y'all being here. Anthony, thank you for being here. Happy birthday again. And yeah, we're glad that we've been able to go through the first 5 days and are looking forward to the bonus day.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow night. God bless everybody. See you.
Bye.